Pros and cons of living in Ooltewah, Tennessee. Let's talk about that. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Chattanooga, Tennessee. My name is Junior Francica and I'm an agent here in Chattanooga. Before we get started on today's video, as much as I love making these videos and give you all this content, what I love more is helping you guys with your real estate needs. So with that being said, if you have any questions whatsoever, if I don't answer a certain topic that you wanted me to discuss today and just want to know more, please feel free to reach out to the number on your screen. Send me a text, give me a call anytime. If I don't pick up, I will get back to you. I'd love to help you guys out. And with that being said, let's get into today's topic. Pros and cons of living in Ooltewah. The first pro that we're going to talk about is the appreciation of the homes in the area. Okay, so in January of 2021, the median house price in Ooltewah was $315,000. As of May, which is 5 months later, in 2021, the median house price is $368,000. So I believe that's about $55,000 in appreciation in only 5 months. So that's another reason why I'm such a big advocate for buying if you're able to when you're moving here, because if you rent for 1 to 2 years, you can lose out on a bunch of appreciation. So just to give you an idea, in January of 2019, I believe it was about $285,000, the median house price, and 2.5 years later we're at $368,000. So about $80,000 to $85,000 in appreciation in 2 years. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. So even if Ooltewah is somewhere that you end up not wanting to live long term, if you come here and you purchase a home, 2 years later when you sell that home, so you don't have to pay any capital gains taxes, you could have anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 in appreciation, which means you'll have a lot more money, be better off financially when it is time for you to go somewhere else if you want to live in different parts of Chattanooga. But it's always a good idea to purchase first. So the appreciation in Ooltewah is definitely a pro, and if you don't know where to move, this is definitely a good area to start off in Chattanooga. So the first con that we're going to talk about is conveniences. Ooltewah used to be farmland, and even though it's grown tremendously over the last 5 to 10 years, it's grown into a suburbs. So we do have Walmart, we do have grocery stores, but what we lack is places like Target or Whole Foods, Best Buy, Costco, things like that we don't have here. So if you need to live close to those type of places, Ooltewah does not have that. But we do have some restaurants. We have an area called Cambridge Squares, which has a little bit of shopping, a little bit of restaurant. We do have small things, so we have necessities that you'll need, like grocery shopping, but we don't have the Targets and big shopping places like that here. So just know that we don't have a bunch of conveniences. We do have the essentials and what you need, Walmart, grocery stores, but we don't have a mall. We don't have Old Navy, Target, Whole Foods, that type of places here. So that's definitely a con for some people that like to be close to that type of shopping and conveniences. The second pro that I want to talk about is the friendly and family vibe of Ooltewah. So everywhere you go in Chattanooga, it's filled with friendly people. So that's not just Ooltewah, but what I have seen is that Ooltewah is where a lot of families live. Now there's no slogan that says, Ooltewah, the place for families, but the activities and the things that you can do here I feel is catered to families. So they have places like the Imagination Station, which is a huge park. Right next to that, you have the Commons area where they hold flea markets and little festivals here and there. They have the Veterans Park where families can walk, and there's like a little stream where kids can get in the water. They have the Enterprise Park or the VW Park where there's a bunch of walking trails. There's little streams that kids can play in. We have indoor and outdoor pools where kids can take lessons or just play in. We have indoor pools that are open year-round where families can go and take their kids. We have a gymnastics center here that caters to small kids where they can have lessons and learn. We have softball fields, soccer fields where kids can join leagues. We have farm play days where they open up the farm where kids can come and ride horses or ponies. They can ride tractors, feed chickens. I mean, there's a diversity of things to do if you have a family with small or big kids too, and that's definitely a plus for stay-at-home moms or people that have a lot of kids. There's a lot of things to do in this area. So I know it's hard when you have kids to travel far. Like we have kids and driving to downtown or everywhere else, kids are always like, are we there yet? How far is it? So it's nice to have a lot of things to do. 5 minutes from your house or 10 minutes from your house is definitely a plus. The second con that we're going to talk about is Ooltewah doesn't have a huge night scene or nightlife. Being a suburb and catering a lot to families and having a lot of families in the area, there isn't much of a nightlife here. There isn't a bunch of places to go after a certain time at night. We do have some restaurants that you can take the family and go eat at, but if you're looking for things to be open way later, you're probably gonna have to drive to downtown or different parts of Chattanooga. I'm not big into the nightlife scene, so it's hard for me to say, these bars stay open this time or this is open in Ooltewah. But just know if you're coming here, there might be one or two places that you can still go to. But living here, you're gonna have to drive downtown or to different parts of Chattanooga if you're looking for that type of life. Just know that in Ooltewah, it's not really catered to those type of people that want that type of lifestyle. The third pro that we're going to discuss is the outdoor activities or outdoor life that is here in Ooltewah. So Ooltewah, I kind of touched touched on it a little bit earlier with pro number 2, where there's a lot of things to do with families and kids. But if you don't have kids and you just like the outdoor life, Ooltewah is also a good place to live because we have a boatload of trails both at the VW Park and at Southern Adventist University. They have a bunch of trails there. You can walk, run. There's a bunch of mountain biking trails if you're into mountain biking. If you're not into mountain biking but you like road biking, the backcountry roads here are amazing. Cars don't really drive there a lot, so a lot of people either just road bike because they love road biking, or they do it for triathlon training. So there's a bunch of road bikers here in this area as well. Something else, that if you're into horses or you have horses and you want to move here, there's actually trails and places that you can take your horse to ride in trails, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of areas that you can board your horses in the area as well. If you're not into trail running and you just want to go for a walk, there's the Veterans Park. There's the Greenway, which is a 6-mile loop. It starts at the local university here. It goes all the way through the Veterans Park, the Imagination Station where the playground is, the Commons area, and kind of loops back. We have pickleball courts that's open to the public. We have, like I said earlier, softball and soccer fields, not just for kids, but we have a bunch of adult leagues in the area as well. So if you're into sports, that's definitely awesome to have in the area. If you're into golfing, we have the #1 golf course in all of Tennessee. It's called the Honors Course, and it's here in Ooltewah. So if you're worried about not having a good course, depending on where you're coming from, we do have an awesome golf course here as well. The third con about living here is the housing prices. Because we have abundance of outdoor activities, there's a bunch of families that want to live here. There's a bunch of jobs here as well. The housing prices are a little bit higher than other places in Chattanooga. So like I talked about earlier, the median house price is $368,000. If we compare it to places like Hickson, which is $285, or Hamilton Mall Place area, which is $275, you can see that Ooltewah is a lot more expensive compared to those places. So that's something to know. But if you're coming from other parts of the country where you're thinking about $368,000 is a 2-bedroom 2-bath condo where you are, but over here you can get a decent house for that price, then it's obviously not a big deal for you. But just know that if you do want to live here, you're gonna pay a little bit more compared to other places in Chattanooga. But from what I talked about already, you're going to get a variety of things that may suit your lifestyle, and that may be important for you to be here and be within that type of stuff, like outdoor activities and family environment and all that stuff that comes with living in Ooltewah. Okay, so a bonus pro of living in Ooltewah is the local economy. So we do have a lot of jobs in the area, a lot of factory jobs in the area. We have, like I've talked about in different videos of mine, we have the Volkswagen plant here. It's a huge plant that employs a bunch of people, and they're actually gonna build another plant next to it to make their electric vehicles. So they're gonna add a bunch of jobs, and with all those jobs and the different plants that they have, it, you know, brings up a bunch of different companies that cater to Volkswagen or work with Volkswagen. We have an Amazon hub here, a bunch of people work there. We have McKee Foods, which they make all the Little Debbie snack cakes, so they have a bunch of jobs, and they're actually doubling their size or doubling a plan of theirs to keep up with demand, so they're gonna add a lot more jobs in the area as well. So the good thing about the local area is that the economy is doing really well, which will affect the housing prices, which affects that appreciation, which we talked about earlier. So that's definitely good. If you buy a house here, don't think that, oh man, I'm buying a house when it's super expensive. 2, 3, 5 years from now, the price that you pay now is going to look very cheap compared to what it could get because of the economy, because of the growth in the area. So just keep that in mind. So overall, Ooltewah is an awesome place to live if family life or outdoor life is important to you, if you want to work in any of the places that I mentioned, and live in the same area is important to you. If conveniences or the shopping, you don't mind driving, 15-20 minutes away to get to those places, Ooltewah is definitely an awesome place for you to consider when moving to Chattanooga. Okay guys, well, with that being said, that's today's video. I hope I've been able to help you guys out or give you value or answer any questions you have, especially about Ooltewah. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me to the number on your screen. As always, I'm always willing to help. Shoot me a text, give me a call. Until next time, God bless and take care.